Top 10 biggest what ifs in NFL history? Let's go. At number 10, what if the Bears selected Patrick Mahomes over Mitch Trubisky in the 2017 draft? Yes, Mahomes is one of the most talented players ever, but who knows how he develops with a franchise like the Bears? They obviously don't develop their QBs that well. You could argue there was no better place for Mahomes to develop than with the Chiefs roster, their system, and Andy Reid as the coach. But at the end of the day, I'm going to bet on Mahomes' greatness prevailing and him making the Bears perennial Super Bowl contender. At number 9, what if Andrew Luck wasn't forced to retire so early? Andrew Luck retired after his age 29 season, and obviously for a quarterback, that's ridiculously early, especially for a guy who was coming off winning the Comeback Player of the Year award, but injuries just got the best of him. It's honestly one of the saddest stories in recent football history, but from a strictly hypothetical perspective, this man was just hitting his prime. On top of that, the Colts offensive line was really starting to come together, and he had just led them to a playoff win the year before he retired. If he didn't have to retire, the sky was truly the limit for Andrew Luck. At number 8, what if Antonio Brown never went crazy? I can't even begin to go over all the things Antonio Brown has done, but the fact is he still had some gas left in the tank when he went crazy. Things boiled over with the Steelers in 2018 after his 30-year-old season when he put up 1,300 yards and a league-leading 15 receiving TDs. He was obviously still balling, and if he was in his right mind, we could have been treated to a few more years of one of the greatest receivers of all time, but instead, we get a shirtless Antonio Brown jogging off the field. At number 7, what if Megatron didn't retire so early? Calvin Johnson retired at 30 years old, coming off a 1,200-yard, 9 TD season with plenty of good football left in him. In just 9 seasons in the league, Calvin Johnson tacked on nearly 12,000 yards receiving, 83 receiving touchdowns, and set the single-season receiving record. Just imagine if he had like 5 more years. At number 6, what if the Tuck rule was never implemented? This one's honestly pretty simple. If the Tuck rule doesn't exist, the Raiders win this game, and they probably win the Super Bowl. John Gruden stays as their head coach and may make a dynasty of their own, but for the Patriots dynasty, they never get their first championship. This might only take away one championship from Tom Brady, but it's very possible it may take away multiple. At number 5, what if Barry Sanders had Emmitt Smith's O-line? A lot of people, including me, consider Barry Sanders to already be the best running back to ever play the game. What if you add on top of that one of the best offensive lines to ever play the game? The answer is Barry Sanders would own the running back record books just like Jerry Rice owns the wide receiver record books. I can't even imagine the ungodly numbers he would put up. At number 4, what if the 49ers drafted Aaron Rodgers instead of Alex Smith? If this actually happened, the league would have been in some big trouble. Think about the weapons Rodgers would have had at his disposal. Anquan Bolden, Vernon Davis, Michael Crabtree, Frank Gore, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel. There's no way he wouldn't have won multiple championships and MVPs with that squad. At number 3, what if the Chargers stuck with Drew Brees? Honestly, this would have been similar to Aaron Rodgers on the 49ers. They would have dominated. For a lot of the years Phillip Rivers was with the Chargers, the offensive roster was absolutely stacked. And no offense to Phillip Rivers, but he doesn't compare to frickin' Drew Brees. At number 2, what if the Seahawks ran the ball? If Marshawn Lynch runs this ball in, the Seahawks get their second straight Super Bowl, the Legion of Boom might not disband, and Russell Wilson is on pace to be one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Instead, Tom Brady furthers his status as the GOAT, and the Seahawks go home heartbroken and never return to that status again. And at number 1, what if the Bills, instead of losing 4 Super Bowls in a row, won all of them? First of all, if Jim Kelly won 4 straight Super Bowls, he would be considered the GOAT until Tom Brady comes along. And instead of the Bills becoming the laughingstock of the league, they would become one of the greatest franchises ever.